The year 1785 to 1885 discusses how the field of nutrition first started. It shows how breakouts in both chemistry and general physiology paved way for the development of ideas which were the foundations of most of nutrition's modern concepts. This all occurred during an era known as the Chemical Revolution, a time when scientists and researchers alike unceasingly worked on new discoveries and experiments to generate theories and facts. A notable personality during this time was Francois Magendie, who worked on animals trying to test whether a single food was nutritionally adequate. It was also his work that sought the similarities of animal and human bodies. Next was John Dalton, whose work is one of the most appreciated theories in chemistry. His theory on atoms gave a clearer picture to more scientists about how compounds would work, especially useful for those who experimented with food. Lastly, we have James Joule, who was able to calculate for a mechanical equivalent of heat. This was of great importance as it was able to help in the measurement of human efficiency. Wilbur Atwater, a chemistry professor, conducted his own researches about nutrition and organized food consumption studies as part of his administrative work at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Because of this, he was known as the father of nutritional science in the United States. Atwater, with the help of other researchers, built the respiration calorimeter. This aided studies in dietary evolution and food analysis as it enables one to directly measure the balance between food intake and energy output and evaluate the effects of diet and muscular activity on metabolism. During this era, a lot of outbreaks of illnesses have happened. Researchers initially thought that it was due to intoxication. However, they later learned that the outbreaks were due to nutrient deficiencies. The year 1912 to 1944 was the vitamin era in the history of nutrition. This era showed how people and the scientists' animal models positively responded when treated with these vitamins. This was also called the Golden Age of Nutrition, as nutrients were being discovered one after another. One fascinating discovery in this era was how the word vitamin was created. It first started when Casimir Funk thought that the anti-beriberi factor, which came from extracted rice polishings, although extracted in different conditions, had the same organic base and therefore contained a vital amine group. It was also in this era when the scheme of identifying vitamins through letters was pioneered by Elmer V. McCollum. During this era, researchers tried to study whether diets purely on carbohydrates, protein, and fats, also known as purified diets, would be nutritionally adequate for their test animals. It was then found that some of the rat models did not grow and die. After some time, McCollum in his work found that factor A, a fat-soluble compound, and factor B, a water-soluble compound, were both needed to stimulate growth of rats fed with purified diets. Naming of these compounds with letters then paved the way of naming vitamins with letters. Because of the numerous discoveries done in the periods before 1945, people thought that the field of nutritional science has been exhausted. But discoveries kept popping up and scientists found ways on how to broaden the discipline of nutritional science, one of which is folic acid. Folic acid was found to have properties that stimulates red blood cell production. However, the prolonged intake of the said vitamin showed in a study conducted in 1948 that patients began acquiring neurological problems. In time, the United Nations shifted their attention from nutrient discovery and started shedding light towards protein deficiency and its underlying challenges. This shift was mainly caused by the discovery of the disease called kwashiorkor, which is prevalent in the children of West Africa. The disease was suspected to be caused by their low-protein diet, thus making them protein deficient. In the developing world, milk and other milk products are costly and sometimes in short supply. That is why the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, of the United Nations urged research to create substitutes that can be produced in their country.
Created using Powtoon.